There you go. Awesome. So, Lexi, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Pretty productive. Snowed in a little bit, but I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, what better way to finish an epic evening, but with someone as you know what I want to say, with someone as such a talent, such a career, such badasses. You know what I mean? So.
Thank you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Night.
Yeah,
Friday night. Dan up.
There you go. There you go. Now, welcome back. It is, as I said before, it is so amazing and super cool to have you always here. Now, before we start, the drill, I have to give you someone. I have to give you a proper intro for someone with such a career. So trust me that I have red carpet. I will already throw it, but we're working on that. But anyway. Oh, wait. Shit. There you go. It worked.
Thank you. You're too kind.
So, what's new to the last interview?
Oh, well, the new year's just starting, so just trying to get back into a routine, and I've actually been working this week on getting back into my Instagram a little bit more, and since Reels are so popular right now, I've actually been thinking about doing some tips for acting and tips for actors on Instagram. So I started recording some videos on what I use for my self-tape setup and stuff like that. So I'm going to experiment with that over the next few months and see if that's the kind of content that people want, and hopefully it'll be helpful, and we'll see.
Yeah. Now you have also started to do I just wrote the word. The thing that you do with wood and you cut.
Oh, my woodworking. Yes.
Yeah, woodworking. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found a new shop that I'm trying to finish a piece with, and it's funny you mentioned that because just before dinner I was actually thinking about making a joke about this, like an Instagram reel, because we always say in high school, when am I ever going to use math? When am I ever going to use geometry or trigonometry? You would not believe the amount of math that is involved in woodworking. And so I'm trying to figure out, because I want these mid-century modern tapered legs. And it's basically like a rhombus or like a trapezoid, and I'm trying to figure out what angle to do it at and how to measure the cuts. And I stared at it for an hour, and I was looking up the Pythagorean theorem, and I was I don't remember how to calculate the degree of the angle. And so I did a lot of math today, and I still didn't solve my problem, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's so interesting what happens. I totally understand that. Yeah, I do get frustrated when I ask for a nail, or a screwdriver.
Yeah.
And they start to give me all these measures and all of that. I'm like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's do you need a 1/4 inch drill bit or a 5/8 drill bit, or?
Yeah, you know what I ended up doing? For example, if I need a screwdriver, I would just bring either the nail or something, be like, I need something for this.
Right, yeah, bring it with you.
Yeah,
always better to just bring it with you.
Yeah, I love it. That is so cool. Yeah, the other day I saw an Insta story that you were actually working on that, and I was like, that is so cool.
It's a fun hobby. I mean, I really, I got into it because of theater, but when I was in high school, I either was going to be an architect or an actor. Those were the two things that I was looking into programs for. I had taken architecture in high school, and I was the only girl in my construction classes in high school, and I've just always been interested in it. And so then in college, as a theater major, I got really involved in set design, and my job on campus was working in the shop to build the sets. So I spent a lot of time in the wood shop in college, and I really loved it, and I learned scene painting and stuff as well. And I just hadn't done much of that since college, and so a few years ago I was just looking for something I needed, because I'm always in some kind of class, and it usually has to do with acting, doing an improv class or stand-up class or something. And so I just wanted to do something that had nothing to do with it. And so I started furniture making classes.
Yeah.
So I did that for a couple of years, and I kind of had to take a break. Although this past year, the 2 projects that I got to work on, my nephew, who's just turned 3 last week, or on Sunday, he had to be in a half body cast called a Spica cast because of his hip. And there's a special chair that you can make for kids that are in those kind of casts, so they can still eat and do art or whatever. So we built a chair for him, and then I painted it, and then my sister was in like a support group, and one of the other families needed a chair, so we built one for her too. So those were like the two small projects I did this year, but now I'm getting back into my like fine furniture making, which like I've spent so long on this piece that I'm making, but I'm like so nervous to make a mistake.
Yeah.
That like, that's why I'm like, okay, I gotta get the mask right. And I have to like have the right paintbrush to put the right kind of finish on it so I don't mess it up, because the amount of time and the cost of the wood and everything, it's in value. It's a very expensive piece of furniture at this point.
That is so cool. Wow. That is really cool. And who knows? At some point, maybe you got the idea here to create Lexi furniture. You know what I mean?
I know. Hey, maybe it'll be worth something someday.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's so cool. Wow. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love doing that, but it's super rare whenever I get the chance to have tools or the wood to do it. But every now and then, whenever I do get the chance, yeah, I was usually that type of kid back in school who got like A's in plastic arts and D's or E in math or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So cool. That is so amazing. But so tell me, I mean, the fact about that you have such an awesome badass career here. Tell me about your favorite movies here. Your top 10 favorite movies.
So when you were telling me that we were going to do this, it's funny because I kind of hate answering the question when somebody asks what my favorite movie is, because within the industry, I feel like people judge you based on what your favorite movie is. So I'm like always nervous to get, and I also feel like there's different lists, right? There's movies that are, I think, beautiful filmmaking and amazing acting, and they're great movies, but they're not something that I would watch all the time, right? They're not like feel good or something. So I have a list of movies that are like just my feel good, like I love them movies. Like they're not necessarily great writing or great acting, but like I just love them. Yeah. And then there's also like, okay, so then there's thrillers, which isn't necessarily my favorite genre, but I have a few that are like my favorite. So as I was crafting this list, I had to like whittle it down. So these are movies that I think are overall good, like overall great movies, great writing, great performance. But I wouldn't necessarily watch all of them multiple times. So that's my caveat. So my top 10 movies, It's a Wonderful Life, which is also what I mentioned is one of my favorite Christmas movies, but I watched it again over Christmas, and it's just such a good movie. It made me cry the whole way through, and so good. The story is good, the purpose is good. Toy Story 3, all of the Toy Stories are good, but Toy Story 3 is just...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
I love it.
Great movie. And I wrote an essay in high school on like the accuracy of war films, and so I studied that one a little bit for it. When Harry Met Sally, which is the answer that I usually give when somebody asks me what my favorite movie is, I usually say When Harry Met Sally, because it's a really safe answer, because I've watched it a million times. It is one that you can watch over and over again. It's one of like the best rom-coms ever written, and so like the writing is good, the performance is good, so it's not just like a cheesy rom-com, it's actually like a solid movie. So that's one of my safe ones. Mean Girls, which is just brilliant comedy in my opinion. All around like the comedy writing of it. This one I don't think a ton of people have seen, and again, this is one that I think I've only watched the one time. It was so heartbreaking that I don't know how many times I could watch it, but it's such a stunning movie and the performance is so amazing, is Still Alice. Have you heard of that movie?
It's with oh my god.
Now I can't remember her name, the redheaded actress, Julianne
Moore. Yeah. It's with her, right?
Yes, and it's basically a story about her being diagnosed in her 50s with early onset Alzheimer's. And
okay.
so you kind of go through the journey of like experiencing her losing her memory and her, you know, all of her abilities, and
Yeah.
it's devastating, but the performance is so good and it's so well written, and I was just crying the entire way through. But that was one of the best movies I've seen in the last 10 years. Arrival, I love. Just as far as like sci-fi, and it's with Amy Adams. So good. 1917, which I just saw, I think it came out 2 years ago, and I just saw it this past year. Just a beautiful story and so well acted, but like the filmmaking of it's filmed like almost entirely in these like long shots. So the entire movie looks like it's one shot. Yeah. And it is so beautifully made. Juno is one of my favorites, just as far as like sort of like an indie darling film. And The Truman Show.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was what I whittled down. I made a list. My list is 38 movies, but that was what I whittled down as the top 10.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. I do agree with those. Yeah. Toy Story 3, yeah. I mean, it hits. The ending, it hits. It hits. I mean, it's such.
It's growing up, really.
Yeah, and you know, I was one of those kids that back when the first one came, I remember that for Christmas, my mom bought a Buzz Lightyear for me.
Yeah.
So even to this day, I still got it. It's somewhere around there. Because I was like, I'm just gonna keep it, and yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
might be worth something someday.
Yeah.
That might be worth something someday. That yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It might be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Now with Saving Private Ryan, yeah, that was actually my first war movie that I saw. I remember. That was the first one, and yeah, I loved it, and I loved it. Well, at first I didn't know what the hell, you know, because you're a kid, so you don't know, like your mind doesn't. I mean, it's like when I was when we were talking about back when you were a kid on Christmas, that you're so innocent, you know.
Right.
You don't see evil, you don't see bad, you just see, you know.
Yeah.
And then, but later on when I saw it, I was like, oh, makes sense. But yeah, most of the movies I did have watched them. Yeah, Juno, I love it. That was really cool.
That was an interesting one. So the paper that I wrote in high school was I was trying to analyze whether movies romanticized the World War II era too much, or whether they were whether that era was a little bit more romantic. And I interviewed my grandfather, who fought in World War II and was still alive at the time.
Oh yeah,
and he, you know, I need to write the movie of it. My grandfather has a great story because he and my grandmother met in World War II. My grandmother was a nurse in the war, and they met in France on a blind double date after Christmas. And then it was after D-Day, and so they were starting to retreat from Europe, and so they called my grandmother back to the States 10 days after they met. And my grandfather proposed to her after 10 days.
What? Yeah,
and, okay. But the greatest part of that story is that, so they met in France, right? But after getting to know each other, they found out that they grew up only 3 miles away from each other in Chicago.
That is, wow.
So sort of what I came to is that those movies, you know, there's a lot of romance, you know, in like something like Pearl Harbor or whatever, and in some ways it does seem more romantic, but my grandfather's point was, yeah, you're like looking to cling to something when you're going to war. So there is a little bit of it that was more romantic. But what I thought Saving Private Ryan did really well was, first of all, the D-Day scene is very accurate and very well done, and really good filmmaking. But it's not like, the story isn't a romance, and but it's more about family, and so it has this heartwarming story through what was, you know, an awful time for these people, of course. So yeah, I thought it's one of the, you know, best war films of all time, I think. And
I also read the other day that a scene of D-Day in Saving Private Ryan basically has inspired a lot of material for a lot of World War II movies, even to this day. Even 1917.
I mean, it's similar in that it's like a journey to find someone.
Yeah, and you know what? Another cool show of World War II that I watched back then. It was Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah, you know, I remember watching some of that right when it came out, but I was young and I didn't really watch a ton of it. I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I did watch all of them back then. I had like this surgery, so I remember that my dad he got all the episodes and he got a DVD. So then he basically sneaked it into a backpack. And while I was in the hospital, when he was visiting me, he was like, okay, he was like last visit, and so then he will lock the door and be like, okay, we're gonna watch it. So I basically watched the whole show on the hospital, but it was really cool. I loved it.
Wow. Oh man, well, I'm glad you're okay after the hospital visit.
Yeah.
My sister did the same thing. She was in the hospital this year and she caught up on so much TV.
I love it. Now, what about your favorite TV shows?
Okay, that is interesting. I feel like that was a little easier and yet still hard to whittle down. So one of my favorite shows, Friday Night Lights, I think is beautiful filmmaking. It's very, a lot of it is over the shoulder handheld stuff, and they let the actors improvise a lot. So the style feels very realistic. But also what I love about the writing of that show is that almost every character throughout the series fucks up at some point and is also redeemed at some point. So you see the good and bad in each character. And it's very deeply human, that show. And for it taking place in Texas and in the United States, like it's very much everything that's great and everything that's terrible about America in one show.
Okay.
So that's culturally, so I love that show. Breaking Bad, just epic, really interesting storytelling. One of the first shows I think where you root for the villain, you know, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah.
Fleabag, I think is just, it's only 12 episodes in total, 2 seasons of 6 episodes, and I just think it's like a perfect piece of art. I just think the writing is so well done and so, again, really human. I think that's what I really appreciate in drama is like deeply examining humanity. Game of Thrones, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I didn't come into it until about season 4, and then I binged it all and caught up, and then I was like a diehard fan from that point on. I love period drama, and I actually watched Lord of the Rings when I was sick, and so like I categorize it as that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I love anything fantasy and that kind of thing. It's good escapism to me, even though Game of Thrones is like very violent and dramatic. It's still escapism because it feels so removed from us.
Yeah.
BoJack Horseman is one of my favorite shows of all time. I mean,
yeah.
So good, and I think it's good for anyone. I recommend it to anyone, but it's also especially good if you're in the industry and if you live in Los Angeles, because there's so many references and so many jokes like at Hollywood's expense and everything that you like appreciate even more. And I really loved the way that show ended. I won't say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, but I thought that the ending was really poignant. Ted Lasso, which I just came onto this year, is just like, I put it on my list above some of the other comedies that I love because it's just so uplifting, and I feel like we need that right now.
Oh yeah.
And like I almost feel like it's so pure we don't deserve it. Yeah, so that's one of my favorites. The Office. So my last 4 are all comedies. The Office, Parks and Rec. Well, Togetherness is in between. Togetherness is definitely dramedy, and The Good Place.
Okay.
The Office and Parks and Rec, just ensemble comedies. I think they speak for themselves. Everybody in the world knows The Office, you know.
Yeah.
Togetherness, I don't know how many people have watched Togetherness. It's a Mark and J. Duplass show.
Mhm.
So the Duplass brothers kind of started as indie filmmakers. They right when YouTube was becoming big, and right when like making your own videos on like smartphones, like when indie film was becoming more accessible to people. I think it was around like maybe 2005 or so. They got a short film. I think it's called "This Is John" into Sundance, which is like a phenomenal little short film that's literally just about a guy trying to record his outgoing voicemail message.
Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant. He like has an entire breakdown trying to figure out what to say. And so they've done some really interesting filmmaking since then. And Togetherness is a TV show that they did, and they only did 2 seasons of it. But I'll go back to that thing of like, it's just so deeply human. It's just so raw. It's so very almost uncomfortably real that it's like, it's not escapism because it really like confronts you. But it's still comedy. So I love that one. And then The Good Place, it is this just like light comedy. And at the same time, it like deals with really deep issues of like the afterlife and what does it mean to be a good or bad person. And so I really, really admire that a show can do both. It can be light and uplifting and fun and funny, but also explore things that are conversations we need to be having and that, we deal with as humans.
I love it. Yeah. Wow. A lot of cool names here. I definitely need to watch. I never watched BoJack Horseman. I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah, Fleabag didn't. I will. Breaking Bad. So what happened with Breaking Bad, for example? I did watch all of it, but last year.
But the last season?
I didn't watch it before because I don't know. I mean, a lot of people were saying like a lot of stuff, but like what got me is that this friend of mine, he has like this. He always throws jokes about Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad references. Like the other day we were doing sports, and then I was like, hey, let's go for some beverages, and then he was like, Gatorade me, bitch, stuff like that. Stuff like that I didn't quite get it. But yeah, like last year I managed to watch it, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. The thing was is that when I talked to a friend of mine, like, dude, I finally watched it. He was like, dude, you're almost 10 years later. I mean, this party's over now. And I was like,
I know. I hate that. Where like, there's some shows, classic shows that I still haven't seen that like, because it's been so long, people have no problem spoiling it for you because they're like, oh, you lost the right to that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I want to watch it.
Yeah. One of the cool shows that got me hooked was Better Call Saul.
Yeah, so I actually had a similar thing. I started watching Better Call Saul and I loved it, but it was just one of those things. I stared watching it with an ex, and then we broke up, and then it was too soon, and then I just never went back to it.
I got you. Yeah. The same thing happened for me with Black Mirror.
Oh yeah, I've only seen a few Black Mirror episodes, but that show is really good.
Same thing happened with me. I used to watch it with my ex, and we're like totally hooked, and then we broke up, and then I was like, I'm done with that show. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, let's play a quick game here. So what I'm gonna do now, so we're gonna start with movies, right? So you are gonna have to guess, and also those who are here in the audience as well, guess the top 10 movies of all time.
Okay.
Top 10 movies and then top 10 shows. That's super simple. So let's start with the first one. So let's see if you can guess it. So the first one happened in 1972. It's a crime drama.
Crime drama.
It got 3 Oscars, 11 Oscar nominations, 4 BAFTA nominations, and 6 Golden Globes and 8 Golden Globe nominations. If I tell you the name of the director, it's going to spoil it too.
Is Jack Nicholson in it? No.
Nope. You want me to give you the name of an actor?
Yeah.
Diane Keaton.
A crime drama with Diane Keaton. Oh crap!
Yeah, The Godfather.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie. The Godfather.
Love it. Yeah.
You know what's funny is like I actually have that on my list, but when you said Diane Keaton, it threw me. But of course, she's in that. She's the wife of the son, right?
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing. I mean, I was thinking about it. I was like, if I say Al Pacino, or if I say
Right,
Marlon
totally.
Brando.
You're right. If you said Al Pacino, I would have gotten it right away. Hi,
Yeah. So cool. So number 2.
Okay.
Happened in 1994. So it's basically, I will tell you a little bit about the movie. So it's 2 imprisoned men bond over a number of years, finding solace and eventual redemption through acts of common decency.
Well, didn't you say part of it already? Isn't it? It has the word redemption in it, doesn't it?
Maybe, I don't know. Could be not.
Oh my god, I'm so terrible with names.
You want me to give a name of an actor?
I think I know, and I'm just trying to remember the name of the movie.
Yeah, you know. I'm super sure that you know.
Yeah. Shawshank Redemption? Yes. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Love it. Okay, number 3. It's from 1993. It's a biography drama history. And if I say something, I will basically give it all away. Okay. So this is gonna be a little bit tough. The director was Steven Spielberg.
Biography. I think that's gonna throw me.
Do what you got.
1993. This is about a real person? No.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's one of those based true stories, you know. Yeah, they got it already.
Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Oh, I have seen Schindler's List. Oof.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay.
That's a rough movie.
Yeah. Number 3. No, wait. Number 4. Yeah, number 4.
See, I thought Schindler's List was older than that.
Yeah, I thought the same, but
yeah.
It's 1993. So, number 4 is from 1980s. It's a biography drama sport. I think I already gave it away.
See, I want to say Remember the Titans, but that was definitely the 90s. Rocky? No.
No.
What was the year?
1980. And it's basically the life of a boxer.
Okay, but it's not Rocky.
Right.
But it is a different boxer.
You want me to tell you the name of the director?
That's not gonna help me.
Okay. Okay, one of the actors.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute, because I think
It's gonna give it away.
maybe Joe Pesci.
I don't know why Rocky and like the like more recent boxing movies are coming to mind. I don't know. Who knows? Charlie, do you know?
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Let's leave it in the comments. Is there anybody who knows that?
David, do you know? Boxing movie in the 80s that's not Rocky. That's like the only like classic older one that I can think of. Joe
It's
Pesci.
got 2. Yeah,
Raging.
Charlie got it as well.
Charlie, this is your game.
Raging Bull. It's totally.
Charlie,
totally.
or our
Stop it.
friend Matt Fig would know every single one.
Now, next one here. This one is a classic. I mean, I think, this one is a classic. It's from 1942.
Okay. Is that all you're gonna give me?
Well,
41 is Gone with the Wind.
1942. Humphrey Bogart was in it.
Okay. So Casablanca?
Yeah, you got it.
Yes. Okay.
Love it.
You're not spoiling the fun, Charlie. You're helping.
Yeah. Next one here. 1941.
Gone with the Wind. No.
No. It's okay, so it's following the death of publishing tycoon Charles Foster Kane. I think I just gave it away.
Vertigo?
No.
Oh. Following the death of
Foster Kane.
Oh, Citizen Kane.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Next one you already mentioned before. It's from 1939. You already mentioned it.
Oh, Gone with the Wind. That.
Yeah. You got it.
Oh,
next
so
one.
yeah, I was thinking about that because Color came out in 1940, right? Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. That, yeah. Citizen Kane, yo, Charlie.
Number 8 here. It's this is another classic here from 1939. It's an adventure family fantasy.
Adventure family fantasy.
Garland was on it.
Judy Garland. Oh, Wizard of Oz.
There you go. Love it.
Also, right around the time Color came in, half of it was black and white, half of it was color. Was that it? Was that the top 10?
Huh?
Is there one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two more. We are at number 9.
Okay.
All right. So this one happened in 1975. It's a drama, and it's one of the actors that you mentioned before, isn't it?
Jack Nicholson. It's either Mulholland Drive or oh my God, what is the name of it? I know it. I'm picturing the scenes from it. It's like the classic scene that I think of where Faye Dunaway. It's with Faye Dunaway too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can never remember the name of this movie, but does the scene where they slapping her. She goes, "She's my sister. She's my mother. She's my sister. She's my daughter." Because I always get those two movies mixed up: Mulholland Drive and I'm not even gonna look at the comments because somebody's gonna tell me. Chinatown. No. Damn it.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's Cuckoo's Nest.
Cuckoo's Nest. Oh.
Oh yeah, it's Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I was thinking of Chinatown then. Are Faye Dunaway and Jack Nicholson are in both Cuckoo's Nest and Chinatown?
No. I got it wrong here.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Yeah. That was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the number 10, I never heard it in my life. So it's from 1962.
Okay.
It's an adventure biography drama, and it's the story of T. Lawrence. Oh.
1962. Those categories are tricky. Adventure, biography, drama.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me one of the actors?
Totally. Alec Guinness.
That doesn't help me.
Anthony Quinn, Jack Hawkins.
Nope. Oh, Lawrence of Arabia.
There you go.
Gosh, I haven't. I think I saw that maybe as a kid, like when I was
never
like 12.
watched it,
Yeah, I've heard of it, and I think I've seen it. That's one of those ones that's like on the I don't know if it's the History Channel where they show a lot of classic movies.
Yeah.
And so I've seen it like on TV, but I don't know that I've like sat down and watched the whole thing,
Yeah.
But I kind of miss watching movies like that randomly when they're just on TV.
Yeah, totally. Like whenever you get back home, either from doing something, you turn TV, and then it's one of those movies, and you're like, I'm gonna watch it. Why not? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Now we got a bonus one.
Okay.
So this one is from 1958, and it's a mystery romance thriller.
Mystery. Vertigo? No, mystery romance thriller.
Oh yeah. You got it. Yeah.
It is Vertigo?
Yeah, it is Vertigo. Yeah, you got it. I love it.
Hey, hi Connor.
I love it here. Now, You know what? Let's do one more. And that's it.
Okay.
Let's close at 12 here. So the next one is from the 60s. It's a horror mystery thriller, and
Psycho, another Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. It was a super easy one. Yeah.
Nice.
Love it. Now let's go for TV shows.
Okay.
So this is the top 100 most watched TV shows of all time.
Okay.
So, I mean, the first one you already mentioned it. It's one of your favorite ones.
Okay. Game of Thrones. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, super easy. The second one is started in 2016. It's one of most. Yeah, it's one of those cool shows everybody watch on Netflix. 2016.
Stranger Things. Nice.
Super easy.
That almost made my top 10. Stranger Things is great.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah. Number 3, starting 2010. Hopefully it finishes this year. It kills me because I used to be a huge fan of this. So it's basically this sheriff guy wakes up from a coma to learn that the world is full with...
Oh, The Walking Dead?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that show. I loved it, but
needs to be done. I actually haven't watched that one, I know people on it, and I should watch it, and I will one day.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing, but I loved it. Yeah, you definitely need to watch it because it is really cool. It is super cool. But anyway, all right, number 4. It's a follower. Yeah, so to the number 4, it's from 2017. Follows teenager Clay Jensen in his quest to uncover the story behind his classmate and crush.
Is it Riverdale? No. This is one of the top watched?
Top 4. Yeah, it's the 4. It's some of the actors would be Dylan Minette, Catherine Langford, Christine Navarro, Alicia Bowe.
Is it Pretty Little Liars?
No, it's a drama mystery thriller.
Drama mystery thriller. I don't know. Does anybody in the comments know?
Yeah.
2017. So that feels pretty new. Mm-hmm. Do you know what network it's on?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix. No, You is not high school. I don't know this one. I don't even recognize the actors' names really.
Should I say or wait for the comments?
Does anybody in the comments know? Netflix show. Okay, tell me what happens in it again, the description of it.
Okay. So it says, follows teenager Clay Jensen in his quest to uncover the story behind his classmate and crush, Hannah, and her decision to end her life.
Oh, to end her life. That's what I didn't hear. Yeah, I've watched the first season of this. 7 Reasons Why?
Close. 13 Reasons Why.
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now at number 5. It's actually my dad loves the show. I don't remember. So it's set 97 years after a nuclear war has destroyed civilization. When a spaceship housing humanity lone survivors sends 100. No, I would say give the title.
Is it not not Star Wars, but it's similar. It's
It started since 2000.
Star Trek?
No.
Huh. Into Space?
Some of the actors here: Alyssa Taylor, Bob Morley, Isaiah Washington. It started in 2014, ended in 2020. Yeah, there we go. Charlie got it.
The one, oh, I haven't watched that. I have heard of it, but I don't know that much about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 6 started in 2013, ended in 2019, and it's basically comedy crime drama.
Comedy crime drama.
Uh-huh. Convicted a decade-old crime of transporting drug money to an ex-girlfriend.
Oh, Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's not how I would describe. I mean, I guess it is a comedy, and it was like in the awards, like in the Emmys and stuff, it was considered a comedy. But it's interesting to hear the way that they like describe shows, because it's more than that.
Yeah. Now the next one here, it's on Netflix, and still airs. It had started in 2017, and you mentioned it before.
You? No.
No.
Oh, it's one of my favorites?
Let me check. No.
Yeah, none of mine are still, well, other than Ted Lasso, all of mine are over.
You did mention it before, like one of the first, you were like, is this one? You were like, no, wait.
Just give me the description again. I'm trying to remember what
Okay. While navigating the troubled waters of romance, school, and family, Archie and his gang...
Oh, Riverdale. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this one is a classic. I think everybody at some point has seen them in their life at some point. It's a drama romance. Started in 2005 and still airs until this day.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, everybody watched it at some point.
Yeah. At some point, everybody has. It's what, 17, 18 seasons now?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Insane. My little cousin watches it, and it's been on since before she was born, and she's a teenager now.
That's so crazy. But I think that the show with more episodes, who would it be? Like the show with more episodes ever. Because at some point, back when I was little, I thought that it was ER. Because that show lasted like 15 years.
Yeah, and Grey's Anatomy basically like replaced ER. I mean, that was kind of like once ER stopped airing, that was kind of the thing that came on after.
Yeah.
Gosh. I don't know. I mean, 17 seasons has got to be a record.
I found it here. Who has a record?
You found it?
It's a show called Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke? Well, that's got to be from like the 60s.
Yeah, so it's the CBS show. Was on the two for. It started. Gunsmoke finally ended. Let me just find. Let me find a better description because it was like super short. So. There you go. Okay, so apparently here this show ended in 1975 with 635 episodes.
Wow. Well, you have to say this statistic excludes soap operas, because I think General Hospital is the longest running TV show ever or something like that. It's either Days of Our Lives or General Hospital or The Young and the Restless.
Let's see. Okay, so here are the so it says here that okay, so the top 10 most longest running TV shows, but I don't know if it is true or not. It's CSI from 2000
that makes
from
sense.
2015.
Yeah.
American Dad from 25 from 2.
Oh,
from
yeah, the animated one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Grey's
a little
Anatomy.
surprised by that.
Yeah. NCIS.
Oh, yeah, they're saying, what about The Simpsons? Yeah, Simpsons is 30,
Yeah, The Simpsons
32 seasons, maybe?
Mm-hmm. It started in 1989, and apparently they're still making episodes.
Yeah, 32 seasons. You know, an interesting point that a friend of mine made once was that Simpsons is still great, but it's not as good as it used to be because it's been on for so long that the people who are now writing for it were fans of it as kids. So they're almost like writing fan art instead of, writing something original, which is, I mean, kind of an interesting point. But it is still good.
Yeah, interesting.
I got to go to a reading of this, of The Simpsons, a table read.
You got?
Yeah, and it was, I'm such a fan of his. Hank Azaria, he plays like 4 characters. And to go to a table read and watch him basically do an entire scene with himself in like 4 different voices was incredible.
That's amazing. It's like, for example, is it Seth MacFarlane, you know?
Yeah.
That does Family Guy. He does like 4 or 5 characters, right?
Yeah. I mean, voice artists are so talented in that way. There's a great documentary about voiceover that's called, well, there's a couple, but I think one of them is called In a World, unless there's also a fiction movie that I might be, anyway, there's some great movies about those people.
Yeah. It actually appears here that another show with most episodes was a show called Lassie from 1954 to 1972.
Yes. So when someone's saying, gotta be the best show in the biz, famous characters, but you go to the grocery store without being mobs. Oh, yes, totally. Doing voiceover for shows like The Simpsons and stuff, it does have to be one of the best jobs because it's like so much fame and money, but people don't recognize your face.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I have discovered with some of the voice actors that I've interviewed. They will participate in this huge project, but you know they can be walking normally and nobody knows. But the moment they start talking, they're like, "Wait a minute!" They instantly get the attention.
Yeah, for a while I was helping produce a podcast, and the sound studio that we used to record. The sound editor, who is very talented, his name's Brian. They had a lot of obviously voiceover people come in and record, and sometimes there's other people passing through, and he was like, I have never seen a grown man cry harder than when his idol, which was basically the guy who voiced one of the original Batmans, was recording, and he got to meet him. Because he was like, you know, it was basically his father figure. Like he watched it since he was a child, and it's like the voice just like was all nostalgia for him. And I just think that's interesting how powerful those shows can be.
Totally. Huh.
You know what show I'm surprised? So this is like a shame point for me. That I have never seen The Sopranos, but you neither. Okay, so I just always think that's always heralded as one of the best shows ever. So I'm surprised it didn't make any of the lists.
It might be. I mean, we are at number 9. Yeah, number 9. Yeah, and the ones that I mentioned now were like the most, you know, the episodes, longest running TV shows, which were CSI, American Dad, Grey's Anatomy, NCIS, Lassie, Family Guy, Law and Order. But Law and Order, from 1990 to 2022. Gunsmoke from 1955 to 1975, Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and The Simpsons.
You can tell from Law and Order how old it is just by like the intro is so like you could make it in like Microsoft Word. You know, it's so like classic. I love that.
But you know, a friend
in the comments they're saying, "Have you heard of Coronation Street?" I have not.
No, I have not either.
Is it good? Is it one of your faves? Should we watch it?
Yeah, definitely put it. Yeah, should we or not?
You know how there's a lot of podcasts out there where people like take a TV show and they watch every episode and they comment on it. I've been wanting to do that with The Sopranos because since so many people love it and like everybody's watched it, but I haven't, and you haven't, like, and I actually know quite a few people who haven't, and I think it'd be interesting to like watch it with someone who's already a fan and compare the like, you know, notes of somebody who's brand new to it to somebody who's seen it. Yeah,
that sounds like a plan. And then we can definitely watch after Coronation Street.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the longest running in the UK. Interesting. Huh. Coronation Street.
Okay. Let me check on that. That's so cool. I'll definitely watch that. We'll see what happens.
Just a note, I was at like 50% battery when we started, but I am almost out of battery, so I'm gonna have to plug in a minute.
Yeah. So Coronation Street, let me just watch it super quick. So
over 50 years. Wow.
1960, 61 seasons.
And it's not a soap opera?
What it says here that is drama, comedy, romance,
Wow, I'm shocked that I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's a British. Yeah, it's a British soap opera. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah,
Which reminds me, one of my other favorite shows that I didn't put on my top 10 is a British show on Netflix, Sex Education.
I never watch it.
Oh, it's so good. It's a high school movie, but I love high school or TV show. I love high school TV shows, but it's very adult but very British comedy and great show.
I'll definitely need to check on that. Huh. But yeah, so this show started in 1960. What else? Yeah.
Does it give a plot? I mean, I don't know if you can describe a plot that's lasted for 50 years.
Right. So it's okay. So it's originally broadcast twice a week. No. Let me find a plot because what I'm seeing here is like the description of it.
You know what else I would be interested to know is, especially because it's such a thing right now, how many shows have been remade or brought back?
Let's find out. How many shows have been remade? Remastered or remake?
Remakes. Because like I think it's called Into Space, or I'm forgetting the exact name of it now, but
so we got, you ready?
Yeah.
We got Battlestar Galactica. We got Doctor Who. We got Twin Peaks. Veronica Mars. Wait. Battlestar Galactica. Oh, One Day at a Time.
Yeah, I think that's a soap opera. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, it is, no?
Is it? I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Rebooting a classic, normally a sitcom, One Day at a Time, takes a lot of, which is probably why. Yeah, it doesn't say if it is or not.
Because One Day at a Time, I think, is also the Netflix show that Gloria Calderon-Kellett, who I actually have met, created about a Latina family living in Los Angeles, and I didn't realize that it was a remake.
Wait a minute, they did actually one of that here.
Maybe that's why it's considered a remake. Maybe it's like, because like that's Jane the Virgin is technically a remake of a telenovela.
Huh. So but for example, the one that I'm mentioning, and it's totally different from the one that I recently saw. For example, here it says that it's rebooting a classic normal year sitcom like One Day at a Time, takes a lot of nerve, which is probably why. Okay, so which is in the hands of executive producers Gloria Calderon, Mike Royce. It's basically it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Yeah.
So I didn't realize it was a remake, but
Doctor Who.
Yeah. It's also interesting to see like what's the difference between a show that like maybe happened in the 60s that they decided to do a remake of versus something like Boy Meets World that got a Girl Meets World, or Full House got Fuller House, or like there's some that are sort of like a continuation of the same story versus some that are a complete remake.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just
I mean, some of the other shows that had a reboot were Saved by the Bell, Twin Peaks: The Return, DuckTales.
DuckTales. I forgot that was coming back.
DuckTales.
So funny.
Those are the. Wait, there's more.
While you look that up, I need to leave for 30 seconds to get my charging.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me just search for more here.
Okay.
Wait. Oh yeah. I love DuckTales. I never watched it. Oh, I did? I don't remember. So it says it's a reboot. Original series Disney Channel from 19. I never watched it. Which features are cool? Okay. Huh.
Alex loves DuckTales.
DuckTales.
Alex
Yeah.
is a very talented actor.
I never watched it though. I never watched DuckTales. I definitely need to check on that.
Oh, it was just like a 90s cartoon.
Oh, those were the best.
Yeah.
It
was based off of Donald Duck, from classic Disney. But it was like his nephews or his like
yeah.
I don't know. He had like triplets.
That's so cool. The other day I felt super old. So what happened was that I was with my 10-year-old cousins, right? And then suddenly the conversation about cartoons came, and then I said like, yeah, I missed, like, for example, Hey Arnold, and then I felt horrible because they looked at me like, what is that? And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, what is that? They was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I know, it's so sad. Alex is roasting me in the comments. The reboot is great. I haven't seen it, but his nephews, is it not his nephews? Who are the triplets?
Yeah.
How are they related to Donald Duck? I don't remember. I just remember, like, is it their grandfather that's like the old duck who's the rich with the mansion?
Well, I gotta hear the explanation. Let me find it. So it says, when considering shows around rebooting, so manages to succeed, voice cast.
It is his nephews, okay.
The show follows a more recent trend in animated children's series in which characters enjoy deeper and more emotionally rich storylines, but doesn't say anything.
Scrooge, that's right.
Okay.
Donald's sisters, okay. Marcus clarifying, it's Donald's sisters' kids, and like their grandfather's name is Scrooge. Now you have to watch it.
I will.
It is a classic 90s one. The reboot thing is so interesting because our generation is so deeply rooted in nostalgia. Like, we just need, the 90s were like so good that we like need to remember, how it felt back then. But there's something to be said for, original content and like putting money into like indie films and new filmmakers and stuff as well. So I'm torn about it sometimes, because like one that I'm really excited about, which comes out in February, is the dramatic reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Wait, really?
Oh, you haven't heard about this?
Oh, no, wait, yeah. I saw the other day while I was on YouTube, and then there was this video of with Will Smith meeting the cast, or the one that is kind of playing him.
So he's kind of the one that made it happen, but it was like an independent filmmaker like made a trailer that was just kind of like as a fun experiment. I don't know if he was trying to get into film festivals, but it was like, what if The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a dramatic story? And so he filmed a trailer for it, and Will Smith saw it, and everybody loved it, and it went viral. And so they pitched it, and apparently there was like a bidding war between different networks of who was going to get to make it. And it comes out in February, I think.
Okay, that sounds like a show that I would be interested in. Yeah. But for example, it is cool whenever they do like the remakes. But sometimes, for example, one of the things that I realized recently is, for example, with the Matrix, that they recently released the new one.
I didn't watch the new one yet.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm gonna say anything because I did watch it. But anyway, moving on. But for example, one of the things that I really hope they don't ever do a remake. It's Back to the Future.
Agreed.
Yeah. It's like one of those movies that it's perfect the way it is. Let's leave it like that.
Yeah. And you'll just never be able to recreate it. Like, there's something so unique, particular about his character and him as an actor. Did you know that they actually recast that role? They filmed most of the movie with a different actor, and it wasn't working. And they
really?
he was currently on the TV show at that.
Let me tell you. I gotta keep my laptop.
Yeah.
What's
Alex, aren't you named after the character that he played in the TV show that was on simultaneously when that movie came out?
Family Ties?
Yeah, and what's his character's name?
Mike. No, wait, no. Alex. Yeah, Alex. Alex P. Keaton. Yeah. So
they refilmed scenes to recast the role, and they had to like shoot a lot of it overnight. to get him in and work around his TV schedule. And
Interesting.
it's a really fascinating story. Alex P. Keaton. That's
How
right.
cool is that? Yeah. Yeah, that is like one of the movies that you just can't change it. You know, you just can't. Don't do it. And I remember that I even saw that this article in which he was mentioning that Back to the Future is like the movie that you should not do a remake. That it's perfect the way it is. Don't ruin it. Just
there's some books I feel that way about too. There's one book that I loved as a like preteen that they made a movie of, and I want to see it, but I still haven't seen it because I'm nervous that they're gonna ruin it.
Which one?
The Giver.
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, it's such a good book, and it's almost one of those movies like I would love to direct the version of it, and I'm nervous to watch the movie because I just don't know if they're gonna get it right.
Oh, okay. The Giver. Yeah, it released in 2014, right?
Yeah. And it's I actually heard, I think that there's been a few stage productions of it, which would be a really interesting challenge for the stage, because the concept of it is basically like a dystopian society, and that's trying to be a utopia, but of course it's a dystopia, where they basically like take a lot of the pleasure out of life so that nobody hurts and there's not a lot of pain or whatever. So life is in black and white. So so nobody even knows what color is. Nobody's left their town. All that kind of similar to like Pleasantville, and then partway through, like the main character, is the person who retains the knowledge of the world before, and so eventually you do see color. But it's a really interesting challenge for the stage because there is a way to creatively light something on stage so that it appears black and white. I think that would be really cool to do.
Yeah. Huh. I like it. I like that. Yeah. Let's make it happen at some point. It would be cool. It has 4 books, right? The Giver?
Yeah. 4 books? No, I don't know. I thought it was just 1.
Well, it says here that the saga, The Giver, has 4 books. It's from Lois Lowry, right?
Well, I read it as an assignment in like 7th grade. And so if there were other books, they weren't assigned to me. So I got to go back and read it.
Yeah, it's from, the author is Lois Lowry, right?
Gosh, it's been so long since I read it. I have to look up.
Yeah, I think, I never heard of it, but I would assume it's that, so.
I'll know by 1993 American Young Adult. Yeah.
There's from that one?
So there's more. I would be surprised. It says now that it's a banned book. Why is it a banned book?
A banned book? What do you mean?
Banned, like you're not supposed to.
Oh, what?
Making this required read in middle school. It's way too heavy for some kids. It is too bad because the book has a lot of merit in other areas. The stirrings are pretty age appropriate. Basically, your body's about to start. Oh. So, yeah, because there's some talk about hormones and sex.
Yeah.
Because basically, I guess it's a little dark, but I read it when I was 12 or 13, and I was not thrown by it. But the things that kids see on TikTok and Instagram these days, I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, they should be fine. Yeah, it's so great. Talking about that, it's so crazy. Yeah, like back in the day, it was like, it was super rare. I remember that back in, I remember that I was like 10. Like 10, 11. And back in school, there was this guy, like the cool kid who bought a magazine of Playboy. And we were like, what? We were like, what is this? And now it's like, with the phone, you can just find everything you want. It's crazy. Yeah.
No need.
Yeah, there's no need for magazines anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Like some of the reboots that I was checking here, like some of the apparently are the best movie remakes and reboots ever made. The first one is Yuma.
Oh, like 3:10 to Yuma?
Yeah, 3:10 to Yuma. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the one I'm thinking of is the remake or the original.
I don't know.
2000. Oh, okay. It was made in 2007, and it was a remake of a 1957 film.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. The second one is Cape Fear.
I don't know it.
Yeah, so it's so apparently this movie is based on a 1962 film. It's Robert De Niro was in it.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's actually made by Martin Scorsese.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
The new one was made by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
1990.
Well, the new one released in 1991. Yeah. The old one was in 1962.
Okay.
The Casino Royale. That was a cool one. Yeah. That was a cool one. Dawn of the Dead.
Mm.
You know. Did you watch it? It was the guys that were
but I know of it.
In a mall while there was like a zombie apocalypse outside, and they stayed inside the mall and do all sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The Departed. Wait, there's actually a remake for that one? I didn't know that.
Which one?
The Departed. Yeah, The Departed.
Oh, The Departed?
Yeah, The Departed.
It is a remake? The one that came out in 2006 is the remake, right?
Yeah, it says here. So it's a reboot of a film from Hong Kong called Infernal Affairs, which was released back in 2002.
That's interesting. Yeah, there's a handful of movies like that got big that are remakes of foreign films. Like Let the Right One In is like a vampire one that was a remake of a Dutch film, I think. Yeah, there's a handful of those. That's interesting.
Yeah. Most of them now are The Magnificent Seven. That was a cool one. The Mummy. Oh yeah, The Mummy. Yeah, back with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To this day, all I remember from that movie is the fear that it gave me, which is like, it's an unrealistic fear, but the idea of bugs crawling inside of your skin, like.
But it is.
Okay, well, don't tell me that.
Okay.
That freaks me out so much. It's like one of those things that just like gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's funny. Don't tell me more. I don't want to know.
I won't. But yeah, actually, yeah, The Mummy was a really cool one. Yeah, I love that movie. It was. I mean, I do believe that during that time, I think that Brendan Fraser was like the guy. You know what I mean? Like the actor. Like you needed in every. Yeah.
And Angelina Jolie's in that movie?
Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz. That's right. Who's the character that is it that character that has like the braid? She wears her hair in a braid and she wears kind of like cargo pants and no, I'm thinking of something else. I don't know.
Okay, so apparently the Mummy was a remake of Redux film back in 1932.
Oh, wow. Huh. I'm curious what character I'm thinking of. There was this was when I was waitressing that somebody told me that I reminded them of the Lara Croft character. And that's why I was mixing up with the
Lara Croft? You mean the one from Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, I actually don't know it that well, but she's the protagonist of Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, 2001. 2001. Jesus, yeah. Lara Croft. Interesting.
But now I think Tomb Raider's been remade too, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it released like
with Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, it's a Swedish actress. Swedish?
Yeah.
I think it's Swedish. It got released in 2019, 18,
okay,
20, something like that. But anyway, another film here is. Wait. Oh yeah. Another one. It's gonna be The Thing.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it, but.
You haven't seen it?
No.
You definitely, but the old one.
The original.
The original one, because because that one is so. I mean, yeah, it is scary, super scary, but it is cool. I mean, I would love to say more of it, but I don't want to spoil it for you. But it is cool. Definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. What other one? We got here? Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen both the original and the remake, but
There was one with Mark Wahlberg, right?
I think the remake has Mark Wahlberg in it.
Yeah.
I want to say that came out in like 2011 or something like that. Oh, 2014. No, wait, there was two of them. Because there's like a sequel. Yeah, James Franco is in it. Rita Pinto, John Lithgow. Tom Felton is in it. Wow.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw it, but I guess 2014 was a long time ago now.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Huh. But you know, like the highest crossing movie remakes of all time, at number one, like the number one of that is. Okay, this is a classic. Yeah. I mean, you need to guess it. It's a classic. It's from an animated one. We all watch it. It has this tense scene. The father dies.
The father or mother dies in almost every animated film.
Yeah.
Oh, The Lion King?
Yeah.
Well, is that really I guess the live action one is a remake of the animated one.
Apparently it ended up it ended up having 1.656 billion.
Wow. You know that it's loosely based on Hamlet.
Wait, Lion King?
Yeah.
Really?
Think about it. So, I mean, if you're familiar with Hamlet at all, I mean, he right? It is Hamlet. It's a Shakespeare. Somebody in the comments tell me if I'm wrong. But like the plot is loosely based on it because like he comes back to the kingdom after his father has died. His uncle killed his father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna look it up. Lion King and Hamlet. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Both feature an uncle. I mean,
Hamlet. Yeah. It's the story of a young prince that was banished and returns to avenge his father. Sounds familiar. It is Hamlet, who was by far one of William Shakespeare movies.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
There's tons of movies like that. Like Taming of the Shrew is I mean, 10 Things I Hate About You is Taming of the Shrew.
Mm.
But there's tons of remakes like that. You know what I just saw a preview for, and I don't know, I think it was already released in the last year or whatever, but they made like Camila Cabello play Cinderella in like a new remake. And I was talking to my parents and I was like, how many Cinderellas have they made at this point? It's like every 2 years there's a new Cinderella.
It's a new one, yeah. You know what? Let's find out how many Cinderellas they have.
A lot.
Put a number.
Between TV movies and theatrical releases and TV shows.
How many?
You want me to guess? I want to say 12 to 15.
But you mean movies or?
Well, it depends because I don't know if a movie list is going to include like TV movies because there's also been TV movies. But let's just say just movies. 7.
Just movies. So we have one from 1950.
Yeah.
More. Second one in 2002.
Was that the one with Brandy?
Huh?
That's the one with Brandy.
It's an animated one.
Oh, animated? Huh.
Should we count that? Should we count them or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 2. Then in 2007, 3, another animated one. 2015, 4, which this one was a real. Wait, what?
The one in 2015, I was probably with Lily James.
Classic Alice in Wonderland. I think so. I mean, it doesn't hear the name of the actors, but I think so. Huh. No, this is to be okay.
So, there's got to be so many different lists because
11. They say 11.
11. I said 12 to 15. I mean, Yeah, okay, so there was the Rodgers and Hammerstein with Brandy is the one I was thinking of, was 97. Slipper and the Rose, Cinderella. But then there's also ones that are loosely based on it, like do you count A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff?
Yeah, or with Selena Gomez.
Right. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Yeah, you're never gonna be exact with a number there. Yeah, it's true. It's one of those movies that you just.
Or like even the animated ones, it says that there is direct-to-video Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True, and Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah, it's never gonna end.
Too much.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah. Cinderella franchise. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, from the 50s started. It also had musicals, video games. You gotta be kidding me. Okay.
Have you seen either the play or the movie of Into the Woods?
I think so. Let me just.
It had the movie version came out a few years ago. Had Anna Kendrick and Emily Blunt and James Corden.
Yeah.
It's a really.
It's a musical.
Yeah, it's Rodgers and Stephen Sondheim, who just passed away. It's a really sort of smart, wise take on fairy tales, and I really like kind of what he does with the Cinderella story in that. But it's like all of the fairy tales kind of exist in one show.
Oh, Into the Woods. Yeah. Now, I'm seeing now I didn't watch it, but I do remember the
flyer, the poster.
Yeah, the poster. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I mean, I think the play is like seeing it on Broadway obviously would be the best, but and I don't even know if it is still on Broadway, but the movie's a good substitute.
Now, do you think that at some point we're gonna have like live theater like back?
God, I hope so. We have to. I mean, it's so hard to predict, right? None of us really know how this thing is gonna go, but if we look back at other pandemics, I mean, eventually, my hope is that Omicron has been a little bit milder, but it doesn't mean that it's mild for people who are, have comorbidities it's bad.
Yeah,
for
totally.
us
Yeah,
all.
what you mean.
But hopefully the strains will continue to get more mild, and it will be something like the flu. Like we get a flu shot, we'll have to get a COVID shot every year. But I'm hoping by the time we can get little kids vaccinated and get more vaccines to the rest of the world, that we'll be able to. I mean, some theater had started to come back, and then it started to get closed again because of Omicron. But it'll be back. And we need art. We need entertainment. I mean, what did people do while they were quarantining in the pandemic? They looked for entertainment, and they burned through every TV show on the internet. And
I mean, that is how I basically watched Breaking Bad.
Right. Yeah.
So it was.
I'm annoyed at myself that I haven't watched more TV during the pandemic, but I think I was scrambling to try to stay working. So. I do hope that at some point. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and like the fact. I mean, like sometimes whenever you will. I mean, it happens to me sometimes that whenever I will just sit still for a second and just like kind of realize what is exactly the situation that you are living at the moment. Yeah.
And it is. I mean, you never. I mean, this is. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. If back in 2018 somebody would have telling you that between this couple of years we will have a pandemic, everybody would have said like either you're crazy or it's a plot for a movie.
I know. I mean, well, it was crazy that you say it's a plot of a movie, because in like maybe the first few months of the pandemic, my roommate and I in Los Angeles were sitting at home, and she was like, will you watch a movie that I want to watch? Like, she was like, I really want you to watch this movie, World War Z. And she hadn't watched it in a few years, but we started watching it and we were like, this is way too familiar. Because it's a zombie apocalypse movie, but it's like as if it's a pandemic. It's like the disease is that you become a zombie, but it's a disease and it's a pandemic, and it was way too scary. And also they solved it much better than we're solving ours. I was in Thailand when like the reports from China were coming out in like January and February of 2020.
That is crazy.
And like some family members started to be like, hey, be careful, we've heard about this virus coming out of China. And it was during the Chinese New Year, and there were a ton of Chinese tourists that were on vacation in Thailand. And so they closed the borders, and the tourists couldn't get back to China. So like their companies had to say like, okay, well, you have more vacation time because we can't let you come back. And even with that, I was like, oh, it's just going to be like the Zika virus or, you know, any of the other things that have happened in the past 20 years that, like, you know, it was serious, but it didn't shut down the world. So, yeah. And then I remember on the plane ride home, almost everyone else on the plane was wearing a mask. And at that time, as a tourist in a foreign country, like, I didn't even know where to buy a mask. Like, it's not like they were everywhere like they are now. Yeah. And they certainly weren't like at gift shops or in the airport. And so I just didn't have one. And I can't even believe, you know, that was just 2 years ago.
Right? It is crazy. I remember back, I was living, at that point, I was in this crappy office job. And they were saying like about this virus, and I was like, we're not gonna have that. That's far away. We'll be fine. Don't worry. You know, nothing bad gonna happen. And then it started to like then everything started to, you know, to get like more serious. And I was like, we're gonna and I even remember that there was this coworker that she went into panic mode, and she started to cry, and then she started to say we're all gonna die. And I was like, no, chill. And nothing bad gonna happen. It's like that virus is far away. Nothing, you know, just relax. And I remember that she was, like it was horrible. I mean, that scene was really shocking because she was like literally crying, like we're all gonna die. Like literally, this is the end of it. And now as you mentioned, it is so interesting because that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. It's crazy. I mean, I think we're at 22 months now. So, it was March. Well, for us, and every country was different when things shut down. But it was the weekend before St. Patrick's Day for us. So, March 15th or whatever. I know, we were all like, oh, things will close down for 2 weeks. Like, that's so crazy. 2 weeks, but back to the point about, you know, will live theater come back and all that. You know, I did tour for a show this summer, which is a little different because we did it mostly outside, and like I'm up on a stage away from everybody. It's not like I'm, you know, with other people on stage. But I think that there is something to the reason why we did that show and other things is that people still need human connection. And there's, you know, this is great, like having conversation over virtual and Zoom and all of that is some substitute for it, but it can't fill the hole completely.
That's the thing.
I was reading, I think I talked to you about this book last time because I've slowly been getting through it, but it's called Lost Connections, and it explores the reasons for like depression and anxiety in today's society. And one of the things that it really goes in depth about is how we are tribal people, how we are meant to exist in groups, and that's how we stay safe and community. And we literally like our health declines when we're not with community, physically and mentally, because, you know, say you were a part of a tribe thousands of years ago, if you were excommunicated, you were physically in danger because then you could be killed by an animal or something. And so it's just in our biology to like be in sort of like fight or flight mode when we're on our own. So, you know, I think we need connection just as much as we need to stay healthy. So yes, we need to change how we're going to go back to normal. And, you know, we need to be better about washing our hands and sanitizing, and maybe we'll be wearing masks forever in different places. But we do need other humans in person, and we need things like live theater, and we need group activities, and we need sports, and, you know.
Yeah. Do you remember back then when you saw someone with a mask and you were like, huh?
It was like, yeah, because
it was like super
I
rare.
used to have the mindset of like, you know how they say like if kids like play in dirt or whatever, it's like it helps them build their immunity. This is like you know, stronger for
We'll be fine. Yeah, it is. Yeah, such crazy times, at times that we. But like one of the cool things as well is that at least it got us into this conscience that we need to really be more healthy in our own habits. You know, like washing hands, like something so simple as washing the hands. You know, now became something really important that you really need to wash them, because we have seen I remember back then that you were playing with you know, back when you were a kid, and you were playing with dirt, and then you would put your hands on your face and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you didn't saw it like as a problem, but
well, I mean, if you watch toddlers, like any kids age like 2 to, well, actually from birth till probably like 8, is disgusting to watch. They put everything in their mouth. They touch their face. They touch each other's face. You know what I mean? And so there's almost no way to stop that to some extent. But, and some of it is true that like it builds your immunity. I mean, kids get sick all the time, but it does like eventually, it's like you want to get chicken pox when you're a kid because then you don't get shingles when you're older, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, we'll slowly find our way back to the new version of normal, and it will involve theater, and it already, you know, it's movies are being made, TV shows are being made, and you know, hi,
wow.
Someone in the comments saying hi.
Oh yeah, hi. How cool! How cool you join here, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Huh. That is.
Well, we all have to keep creating in the meantime.
We all have to keep creating. Yep. Now, before we finish, we have 2 more that we need for the TV shows. 2 more.
Of the top 10? We never finished the top 10? Oh, I'm so sorry. We got so distracted.
No, but it was fun. But you know, like super quick. Now that I remember, the other day, and I don't know why I didn't tell you about it, but the other day I was driving, and then I stood up this huge wave of traffic. What happened was that there was this truck who caused a mess, so there was like this huge amount of traffic, and there was this lady who was next to me, I remember, and then I just watched it, and then she instantly remembered, like, wait a minute, I've seen this before, like someplace, and I was like, where? Because she was like really acting crazy, she was devastated, and I would just keep looking at her like, I saw this somewhere, and I remember that I was just grabbing the phone, and was like, oh yeah, the 7th stage of traffic makes sense now. And it was so funny.
Oh, I love that. I'm so glad that I popped into your head. And hopefully
it was so hilarious. I mean, at that point, I was just started to smile, and I remember that she looked at me, and I was like, okay, no, avoid contact, just focus on the road, just focus. But she was like really devastated, and I remember that I was kind of like looking every now and then, and she was like throwing her shoes like inside the car, and I was like, oh yeah, she's having one.
She was. Oh, you saw the real life version. I love it.
Version, yeah.
And I hope that it gave you a little bit of laughter and
it was
in a shitty situation.
It was so funny because I was just turning and I was like, that's so cool. I mean, of course that she might have like a very bad mental breakdown, but it was fun. It was fun to watch, you know.
Doesn't it make you curious though? It's like, oh, where was she going? Why was she so upset? Like, what happened to her? You know.
You know, I'm the type of people that usually, for example, in airports or stuff like that, if I see someone like particularly, I like to pretend stories, like be like, okay, so this guy is returning from, by the look of it, maybe he was at home, he's running late because his socks doesn't match, so he was just like putting everything he could at the moment. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So he has a bagel in one hand, probably it's breakfast. So stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a great improv warm-up game that's similar to that called well, it's like you come up with a character, but then you come up with the character that mirrors it. So it's called classic pair. So maybe you come up with a character that's like this person you just described, right? Like running late for the airport, lost a sock. And then like it could either be someone that mirrors them really well, or it could be like an opposite character, just like someone you'd like to see them in a scene with. So then, so if you describe that character, then the next person in the improv would say, okay, now we have flight attendant Marie, who is the happiest person on earth and always wears mismatched socks.
Okay, I get it.
So you kind of come up with like who would be in a scene with them and what would be funny to watch those two characters. It's
that
funny.
is so cool. Yeah. Huh.
We used to do it as a warm up before my improv shows.
That's so cool. And are you planning to do improv shows at some point?
I'd love to. We'll see. Yeah, I would love to do improv again. I'd love to double stand up again, but it kind of depends on what happens and the pandemic this year. But one thing I really want to do, I'm trying to move to New York sometime within the next 4 months. Yeah, and one thing I really want to do, because I have so many talented friends, is I want to put together a variety show. So music and improv and stand up and sketches and stuff. So once I get that, I already started like just for fun because I'm not there yet. I've just started like looking up venues and like making lists of who I want to perform and all that kind of stuff. Just want to get people together.
I like it. Yeah. When you have that, make sure to let me know, and maybe I could include the show, so make it special of it.
Yeah, that would be great.
I love it. I love the idea. Yeah. But yeah. So as I was telling you, it was such a cool story. I mean, such fun thing to watch that, and like as I mentioned, it is one of the cool things that I love about movies, short films, whatever, that sometimes you will face that thing you were watching and you're like, how cool is that? And it's so relatable. I mean, as I was saying, probably, I mean, if I was for example with this lady that she was like really devastated, I'm super sure that I was like, watch this, she would have been like, yeah, totally relates to me right now, like
right, yeah. Well, that's where a lot of good comedy comes from, is just observation, right? Observing yourself in situations and observing the people around you. And humans are funny and stupid, and we do crazy things.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah,
it's all the comedy you need.
oh yeah. Yeah, so last two.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so this is an easy one. 2014 is based on a superhero.
TV show based on a Superman?
It's on Netflix. It's from this superhero that runs fast.
Oh, The Flash.
There you go. Super easy.
Really? I didn't know that's in the top 10.
Yeah, it's on number 9.
My manager represents Jesse. Oh my God, Jesse L. Martin, who's on that show.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's a great guy. Jesse Martin's very talented.
Okay. I actually interviewed one of the what's her name? I interviewed a couple of Stephanie Isaac.
Oh, nice.
Isaac. Yeah, she also appears in Flash.
Great.
Yeah. I remember now. Hopefully she's not watching this. I'm so sorry. But anyway,
Yeah.
I forgot real quick. But anyway,
hey, names are tough sometimes.
Yeah. So number 10, last one here. Last one, and we do one bonus, and we're done here. So the last one is a show about a spoiled billionaire playboy.
Billionaire.
It's a superhero also.
And it's a TV show. I'm thinking Batman, but the Batman TV show. Billionaire playboy who's a superhero also. and TV show. What is it on? What year did it come out?
Netflix and yeah, it's on Netflix. I'd say yeah, it says here Netflix with subscription. David Ramsey is in it. Susanna Thompson, Stephen Amell, Katie Cassidy. It's about this.
Most of the superhero shows are on Disney. That's why I'm trying to like think of which superhero shows on Netflix. And Batman's the only one that's like a billionaire.
Yeah, true. But so this guy used. I mean, it's the point that if I say something else,
you'll spoil it, right? Because if you tell me a superpower, then I know who it is.
All right. He returns 5 years later, a changed man, determined to clean up the city as a hooded vigilante. I'm not gonna say anything else.
That's Batman's story. How can it? So it's a Batman show, but it's not Batman.
It's not Batman. It sounds like Batman, yeah, of course, but it's not Batman.
But it's not Batman. Vigilante returns to his city. I don't know.
Arrow.
What is it called?
Arrow.
Oh, the Arrow. That's on Netflix? I thought that was CW.
I thought the same here, but it says here watch Netflix with subscription. You know what?
Riverdale's is Riverdale Netflix too? Maybe they're in the same universe.
They do?
Because Sabrina is in the same universe as Riverdale too. I could be making that up. I don't know. But interesting. Arrow.
I need to make sure that actually I'm gonna make sure later, but from what I do know, it wasn't on Netflix or they removed it maybe.
It might be on Netflix now. A lot of shows will air live on it, like American Crime Story that I had an episode on was on FX, but then once it finished airing, it was on Netflix.
Okay, I'll definitely watch it later. I'll let you know. And the last one here. This one is a Spanish one. It's from Heist.
It's from Heist?
It's basically an action crime drama. So it's an unusual group of robbers. Here's the name in English. It's so different from the one in Spanish. Huh.
It's not Ozarks. Gosh, that could describe a lot of shows, I feel like. What is it on?
It's that one. Yeah, it's an original from Netflix.
An original on Netflix, Spanish crime drama.
I mean, I don't know if the name they have it in English is. I mean, it's not the same the one in Spanish. I don't know if you know it in the name in Spanish or in English. So basically, they steal 2.4 billion euros. That's a lot.
They steal 2.4 billion euros
from the Royal Mint of Spain.
Mayans MC? No. I don't know.
So it's a show. So the show called, I mean, in English is Money Heist, which is so interesting because in Spanish is La Casa de Papel.
Huh.
But
yeah,
which is
paper house, isn't it?
I mean, it kind of makes sense, paper, money, kind of makes sense. But
yeah, but I would think like the translation to that would be more similar to like House of Cards than Money.
True.
House. That's interesting.
True. Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that list. I mean, I just think it's just, there's a bunch of shows on there that I haven't watched, but
yeah, totally.
It also depends. I think that the demographics and the numbers are so interesting because it kind of depends on if you're a person who has cable still or not, because so many people don't have cable.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I've seen a lot more streaming shows than I've seen cable shows.
Yeah.
So stuff like The Flash, I think is on CW, and so I don't get CW,
Yeah, and also, for example, I mean, as I am scrolling down, for example, at number 19 is Breaking Bad, and I'm like, come on, Breaking Bad should definitely be on top.
So I
It's
mean,
definitely one of.
is it most watched or is it most watched? The list.
So it says here that it's according to their success, awards, nominations, their popularity, and their cinematic greatness.
Interesting.
From a directing, writing perspective.
I would be interested to see the top 10 critics' choice, like if you went to Rotten Tomatoes or something.
Oh yeah.
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 Curious.
Yeah.
Sometimes the critics are wrong, but you know.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, everybody has like their own thing. I think that is kind of the beauty of the whole thing. That maybe it's, for some people they love it, some people don't. But yeah.
Well, like I said at the beginning, like I have different answers depending on the question, right? It's like my favorite movies are the best movies in my opinion versus like the movies that I watch the most. Like movies I watch a ton, like all of the Harry Potter movies, Hunger Games. I watch a bunch of rom-coms. I love the movie Sweet Home Alabama. I love Stepmom. I love Crazy Stupid Love. But they're not necessarily all like the best films ever made. They make me feel good. And so like there's different.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like another movie that got me surprised that it wasn't there was, for example, Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's one of those movies it's one of those movies that you just like watching, and maybe for the people it not be like this huge masterpiece, but as you mentioned, it makes you happy, and that's it.
Yeah. And there's also like what movies are made for different demographics of like teen movies, but also like for men and women too, and I think that gender is a construct and all of that, but
totally,
there has for so long been like, oh, that's a chick flick, but only in probably recent 30 years have there been a lot of female filmmakers and female writers, and there's still very few female directors. So I'll be interested to see how that changes. And there was a movie, I was making a list of some movies that because movie theaters have been closed, I'm not really caught up on a lot of like recent releases, and or at least I haven't gone to the movies even if they have opened. But Rebecca Hall, who's an actress that I really admire, just directed a film that came out this year that I'm excited to see. But it's really great to see more female directors and female filmmakers coming to the scene. So
yeah, that is I think one of the cool things here that now there is space for everybody, and now there's time for I mean, yeah, I do believe the same. I mean, it doesn't matter the gender or like whatever. I mean, art is art and period.
Right.
And we can see sometimes they will create like very cool movies, and it doesn't matter, the females or male. But yeah, I do hope that we can get into a moment or into a point in art in general in which we just stop hating and just loving it. I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. But like one of the things that even till this day pissed me off is that if you don't like something, that's okay. But why wanted to destroy it? Why wanted to make sure that thing that you don't like disintegrate, and you're like, why? I mean, that is at the end of the day, it's art, and if you don't like it, that's cool.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line because critique and analyzing films and all of that is always part of the fun of art, right? Like let's start a conversation. Totally. And so there's a place for critique for sure. But I actually saw a casting director posting about that recently, because a lot of people were like making negative comments about the film that they worked on that they were really proud of. And the casting director was like, I see that stuff, and I like not going to want to work with you if you are out there trashing other people's hard work. So, I think that there's a fine line between that. And, living in Los Angeles and being surrounded by people who are like studied film and love film and everything, like one of my rules, like in a group of friends or whatever, is like, we can have a conversation and critique the movie at the bar afterwards, but you're not allowed to do it like in the movie theater. We have to at least leave the movie theater and let it breathe for a second, so that I can like enjoy the like post movie bliss and like, and then give me a moment to think, and then we can talk about it. Because I hate like, you know, somebody will just like immediately start destroying the movie, you know, the minute you leave or whatever, and it's just like, let me just have this for a second, you know?
Yeah, totally. These type of people that while they're walking out of the like everybody's walking out and they're saying like, oh, this movie was garbage, I hate it. I know what you mean.
And it's like the person behind you loved it. Let them love it.
Yeah. When was the last time you went to the movies?
I've only been like twice in the last year. One was the premiere of the horror film that I was in, because I wasn't gonna miss that. And then my parents, it actually wasn't even a movie, but my parents are very religious, and they really wanted to see the Chosen holiday special. So right before Christmas, we went to go see that. And it was like music and a little like story about Jesus, and so it was like a nice family outing. But what I'm gonna go see this weekend, I've been waiting, because I was waiting to after quarantine and then the new year. I'm finally gonna go see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes, please do. And thank God you tell me that you haven't watched it, because I was this close to.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I've been watching interviews about it, and I keep trying to avoid stuff because there's so many spoilers that anytime I see something that might be a spoiler, I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah. It was horrible. I accidentally spoiled it myself while I was just on Instagram, and then this huge spoiler. I was, you gotta be kidding me. But even though, I mean, I didn't. I mean, it wasn't this very huge one, but still, it was like, okay. But yeah, you need to watch it. It's amazing. Okay. I love it from start to end. I just loved it. It was such an amazing. And for example, I took my brother to watch it with me, and my brother he does not like superhero movies at all. He doesn't like them.
Yeah.
So it's so cool because he likes, for example, this kind of true based stories, and I'm like the type of guy who likes basically everything. But you know, superheroes are fun. So we went to see Spider-Man. And he was constantly asking me like, who's that? I was like, shh, I'll tell you later. Let me just watch this. Let me just feel this moment. But yeah, it's amazing. You need to watch it. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great for sure. So, Lexi, what can I say? It is such a pleasure. It is amazing. It is always super cool to speak with you. I mean, definitely this was the first episode of talking about movies in general. I'm so grateful that for you to give me the time to make this happen. Almost 2 hours. That's so cool.
Hey, this is what we were doing Friday night, right?
yeah, I like that. Yeah, interesting. You give me an idea to it. Yeah, but yeah, it is so cool. Keep rocking. Have an epic, beautiful, amazing weekend. Sorry. Make sure that you enjoy the best watching Spider-Man. Have a lot of fun. You're gonna love that movie. I'm super sure of it. Let me know once you watch it. Let me know. What you think about the movie. And before I send you off, you know what's gonna happen. So.
Thank you. And right back at you.
Keep rocking, keeping amazing, keeping this amazing person that inspires and brings a lot of joy, because you are definitely making a difference and really inspiring people. So
thank you, and keep doing what you're doing, and these fun ideas are very creative and fun entertainment. So keep
yeah, love it. So I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye everyone.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
You too.